Right, we should be live. Sarah, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I know it's a bit short notice. We have got some other guests hopping on as well when they decide to get their finger out. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm buzzing after that. After watching the launch of Advanced UK, Ben's speech in particular, really chuffed to see him get off up and running. We had a massive audience watching. We had one stage. Well, I've just looked at the stats. We've already had over 30,000 people watch that stream so far. So that's really good. So I'm hoping a few people will hop on now and get us going. And we're waiting for Richard. Richard's supposed to be coming on. He's now not answering his phone. It's like he's a nightmare. What did you make of it?
No, you know what? Massive respect to Ben for starting up Advance, because it's not easy starting a new party, and like so many people don't know him. But he's saying what everybody wants. What everyone wants to see in this country, which originally was what Reform was saying.
Yeah,
he is actually going to go through with it, and I believe that. I believe that 100%.
Yeah, I do. I mean, just while we're waiting for the others to hop on, when I first met Ben just over a year ago, I was a little bit sort of not sure. I wasn't sure what I was going to find, but to be fair, from the moment I met him, I thought, wow, this is a good guy. He spoke very honestly. He was very passionate about what he had to say. And I think what struck me, Sarah, being, just a regular guy, South London accent, loads of tattoos and all the rest of the bits and pieces, I look like one of that lot, right? Yeah. But Ben's connection with the ordinary working class people is something else. And I think that's what really resonates with so many people. Got a question for you here, Sarah. It's a big one. Alan says, hi, Sarah. I hope you join Advanced UK. Watch this space.
Do you know what? I believe that Ben is very sincere.
Yeah.
You speak to him, he speaks from the heart, and he's very patriotic, and he loves this country. And the same with Ant Middleton. He loves this country. He's very patriotic, and who better than to control the country than someone who's patriotic? That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and I think the days, Sarah, of like needing to be a well-spoken, well-dressed suit and tie job. I think the days of you having to be and look and sound like that, having to look and sound the part, I suppose, is what I'm saying. I think those days are over. Sarah, just 1 second. I've got Richard on the phone. Hold on a minute. Richard, we're live, Richard, and we're waiting for you. Oh, okay. We're live. I've sent you a link by email. Look, God.
Mate, you can't get the sloth these days.
We're live, Richard. Get on quick.
Okay, no.
Oh, dear oh Lord. Honestly, where is he? When he gets on, I'm going to give it to him. I really am, I'll tell you.
You know what? I think, like you just said, gone are the days of someone having to be speak with a plum in their mouth. And I believe if you look at me, I'm not the most articulate, I'm not the most intelligent. However, I have a deep sense and passion for this country, and I want to live in a fair and safe and secure country. And I want to leave behind a safe, secure future for my children and for the next generation. And I'm working class. Anyone who's working class, they go into the local pubs. They know what the locals struggle with. They know people on ground level and what they really want. And how can someone sit in their ivory tower and put laws and regulations and policies in place for people like us when they have no idea how the cogs turn in this country and how it works? Because you've started at the bottom, you have no idea of what makes this country run. And
absolutely.
Any business will be exactly the same.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, Sylvia's son said, objection. I say Sarah is more intelligent than she lets on. I mean, Sarah, I always say, if you want to get the mood of the nation, jump in the back of a black cab, right? Yeah, you're going to hear the truth, right? And I think that what's happening to the country, what's happening to the nation is that they are realising that all these sexy accents and these posh suits don't equate to honesty and genuine caring.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I've found in common with all the people that I've met and I'm associating with, people like Richard and people like yourself and Richard in Wales and Jeff Taylor, all these people, what they have in common is a heart. Mm. They have a passion and a strength and a knowledge for what is right and what is wrong. It's very clear. The lines to what is right and what is wrong is mostly, not always, but mostly very clear. And they want to stay on the right side of those lines. And like you say, it's all about decency and all about honesty. We won't even go there, Logman. Thank you very much. We won't even go there with that one. I don't know. Ben talking about bonking for Britain. I said we're going to pick up 5 million new members in one day.
Do you know what?
One second. I've got Richard on the phone. I'm going to put him on the loudspeaker. Hold on a minute. Right, Richard, you're on loudspeaker on the live stream. What's the problem now?
Oh, I ain't got that link, mate. Drop the link in WhatsApp. Drop the link in WhatsApp, yeah, and I'll try and get.
I'll drop it in WhatsApp. All right, mate. See you in a sec. You know he hasn't done. He hasn't checked his spam mail.
I'm all for. Please don't swear.
What's that?
No, but basically, I think what you find is you go to any working class area, the people are so friendly, so kind, so welcoming. And so people like us, people that are from grassroots that would get into any political party would still have them values. So we would be wanting what's best for the country, where unfortunately people that are in politics at the moment are only concerned with lining their own pockets.
Yeah, exactly. And it's gone on. Look, let's be fair. We've all fallen for it for years and years. And well, I say we've fallen for it. I suppose we've been able to, I'm all right, Jack, ignore it to a large degree. A lot of people have done that. But I think that now everyone is waking up. I mean, everyone that I know is waking up, even those that before were a little bit like, oh, Paul, why'd you hassle yourself with this? Why'd you worry? Why'd you bother? Even they're now messaging me going, bloody hell, mate, you were right all along.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And if it weren't for people like you speaking out, then what would have happened? We would have had digital ID brought in 10 years ago, which I know you're probably going to go into that, but it's unless people speak out, nothing's ever going to change. So we have to have people speak out and be upfront and question and debate everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one understands what's really going on.
Exactly. You've got to question everything. And we will talk about digital ID a little bit later on in the show for sure. I think that, there's a lot of people out there right now, including yourself. I mean, you've come onto the scene and in the limelight over the last few weeks, last 2 or 3 months or whatever it's been now. And just an ordinary mum, ordinary working class individual. So every single person that steps forward, it's vital. People sometimes say to me, oh, what can you do from Spain? Well, I tell you what, I can do this. We can help people come together. We can raise awareness. And one thing that I have done, and I know that I've done, is brought people from industries and other areas that wouldn't normally have before perhaps touched this movement.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go on.
You personally have helped me massively. You are helping me get a platform. You're advising me what to do and how to, spread the word of what I feel passionate about to the wider community. But also, since I've been doing what I've done, which is only a matter of weeks, I've met people and I've put them in touch with you, and you've been able to speak to them and help them. And it's so
networking,
and it's everyone all wants the same. We all want Great Britain to be Great Britain. That is it.
Absolutely. And it's vital that, even I've got a video being released tomorrow morning and it talks about this. So I'll just give, a bit of a hint right now. It's that like anyone can start up their own YouTube channel. It's not, if you want to do something fancy with fancy presentations and you want to end up with a show like Dan Wootton's, that's a different kettle of fish, right? That's difficult. But to set up a regular live stream on your phone, or just to do a quick 10-minute chat on your phone and upload that, it's very, very simple. And what we need now, Sarah, is an army, literally an army of people that are getting online, spreading the word, spreading the message, and networking. Like you just said, that is absolutely vital.
Yeah. And also the other thing is, what we need to look at is, like you spoke about when I come on live the other day, was the Channel 4 miniature documentary that they done, which was a total lie. They cut, copied, pasted it to make it look like Epping was a bunch of thugs.
Yeah.
And it didn't cover it properly. And basically everyone like yourself and anyone that's a citizen journalist are all going live. They document things in real time. You can't edit that. So myself and Martin Gauci went out in Epping High Street the other day, the day after Channel 4 released their documentary, and we walked up and down that high street and we had a live feed. And as we was going along, we asked the public of Epping what they want to happen with the Bell Hotel. Do they believe that the protests are a good thing? Do they want the hotel shut down? Do they think that we're wasting our time? And we actually got genuine, honest answers, and they was live. No one could dispute what we was doing.
I saw it. I saw the video. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, and it was good to do.
How do you find that going out in the street? I always find it a bit, I'm not quite sure about going out on the street.
Do you know what? I think being a market trader for so many years, you don't care about talking to people, and you know that you might irritate a couple of people. But in general, people are, especially in Great Britain, people are generally, if they don't want to talk, they go, sorry, haven't got the time right now. And it was good. It was good too, because being one of the protesters and being very heavily involved in the protesting, I was like, are we being a nuisance? Is it really a problem what we're doing? And when I went out, I thought, no, I was right in what I thought. We are doing a good thing. And I'm glad that we're going out, and I'm glad that we're speaking to actual local people and getting their genuine response.
Yeah, absolutely. One sec, Richard's on the phone again. Hold on a minute. You all right, Richard?
Still no link. There's no link. Send me a link on WhatsApp, mate. I've got the WhatsApp on the computer.
I've sent you the link on the WhatsApp. I just sent it to you on Richard 3.
No, send it on the one that ends in 7741.
Okay. God, blimey, out there. Right, let's have another go. Hold on. Sorry about this. Right, I'm trying to forward it to him, and it's a nightmare today.
I forwarded it to his number in the group.
I don't know why he hasn't seen it. You forwarded it in the group, yeah?
I forwarded it to him, and it says he's read it.
Right,
so
let's have a look.
His direct number.
There you go. He's got it now. Oh, right. I've lost my train of thought now. Where was we? Oh, I wanted to pick a message here from Colin. Let's have a look. Colin says, Advance have 2 hopes, Bob hope and no hope. Well, you could tell us why, Colin. I'd be interested to know, why do you think they have no hope?
And the thing is...
There we go. Technophobe. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi, Richard.
I think you've been bonking for Britain.
It's not difficult to send a link, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Come on, you've been bonking for
Sarah,
Britain.
how are you?
Hi, Richard. You're right.
Hang on.
He looks a bit rosy-cheeked, doesn't he?
Well, no, that's just because I was getting wound up, Paul. You know what I'm like. It was that Liverpool temper of mine getting stoked.
Was it my link, or was it Paul's link that you got through on?
I ain't got a clue. I don't know. Whoever sent me the link, brilliant, because I'm here now. I don't know.
Well,
no, I think it was Paul.
Better late than never. Yeah. As Hugh says, look, hi Richard. Nice to see you, mate. Richard, what did you make of the event? Did you you obviously watched it all.
Yeah. Obviously they were up against it, Paul. They were up against it because of what had happened with the cancellation and so on and so forth. I think it could have been better. I'm just going to be brutally honest. I think it could have been better.
That's what you're here for, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess about. But they had massive problems in terms of getting cancelled. But I think it's a lesson to be learned. Basically, you've got to pick a venue that's uncancelable. You've got to go somewhere where they cannot cancel you, no matter what's happening. And I think this is a baptism of fire, because obviously I've dealt with this since 2018, 2017, cancellation. You book somewhere and all of a sudden the booking vaporizes. The best thing you can probably do in that sort of situation is either book somewhere really big and really expensive. You're ridiculous, Richard. You lot believe in lying for ours, then good luck. What is that even about? What?
Foxtrot, you better catch up. You better catch up.
Listen, I told Farage to sling his hook in 2018. I've got the video evidence. Go and look down my YouTube channel. You can find the video.
If you want to find someone that is not a Nigel Farage fan, he's sitting below me right there.
Exactly. And look, I mean, it's not a personal thing with Nigel. I just think he's a lying fraud. But that's a joke, by the way. But yeah, I mean, the event, I think, given the circumstances and the short notice, it went off okay. But I think it could have been slicker. It could have been better. I'm just being honest, Paul.
Richard, look, that's why I like to have your opinion. I mean, look, I will say, yeah, okay, it could have been. But then on the other end, I would say this, is that ain't we all sick? Ain't we all sick of seeing polished fireworks and lights and, forget all that. This is about the message. This is for the people. This was like, if you like, this was a working man's launch. And I think there's something positive in that.
Oh no, I'm not saying I'm not positive about it. I'm not saying I'm not positive. I'm just been brutally honest about it. I think considering what happened, it was really good to pull it off, because there could have been no venue and it could have been an absolute disaster. The same thing happened with us when we did the St. George's Day one. With exactly the same situation. This was in 2024, and there's a whole lot of people let us down. People that shouldn't let us down. Sound systems let us down. It was just an absolute disaster. And again, it wasn't polished, but it was a really, really good event. And I think that's probably a fair point, Paul, that it wasn't polished, but it was, the message got out there. Ben was fantastic, right? I mean, when Ben got on the platform, he owned the platform and he did what he always does. He's great at engaging with people. And I think one of the things that did come across was Ben's a man of the people, and he does, he loves the people, and that comes across in abundance. I thought Howard Cox, again.
I love Howard. You got to love Howard, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely superb. But yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. I mean, it's done and it's out there. And the issue is we've got so much work to do with Advance. That I think it's good if you've got anything to say it, rather than to be a shrinking violet and not say anything. So I'd rather sort of say what I think. There's Danny. What's happening, Danny?
Hey, mate. How are you? Good evening, everyone.
We got a full house. Evening, Danny. Thanks for joining us, mate. I know you're busy. Sarah, I'll tell you what. In fact, the whole panel, I'll tell you what really resonated with me with Ben today, right? What really put a shiver down my spine, because people will have heard me say this on a number of occasions, and it means so much to me. When he spoke about Tommy Atkins, the soldiers, the men that have given their lives, bled and died out, wearing our uniform, waving our flag. When he talks about that, boy, oh boy, he resonates with me, because no one that walks or has walked this earth deserves our love and respect more than our fallen heroes.
Definitely.
No one. There isn't nobody that even comes near to them. And to recognise those people and to talk about them in the way in which he did, and really, really mean it as well.
Yeah.
And I know he means it. I'll tell you something else. There's a little funny little quirky tale here. A few months back, Ben spoke about growing up reading Commando magazine.
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah, we all did.
We all did. We all grew up reading.
We didn't, did we, Sarah?
We didn't, Danny.
Oh, Danny, come on, Danny. Don't even pretend that you're that young. Don't even pretend that you're Sarah's generation. Don't even go there.
Can I just give Richard from Wales a very warm welcome? Good afternoon, Richard.
How are you doing, lads? All right? Everyone okay?
Lovely.
How you doing there? How you doing there, Sarah, as well? Sorry, lads and ladies. Lady.
Two dicks on the panel again.
What a nice,
Indeed.
what a superstar little show we got tonight. I'll tell you what though, Rich, I will say this, for Danny and Sarah, commando means something completely different. But for our generation,
when you started talking about it, Paul,
it's a magazine.
I was thinking, what is this show turning into?
Paul, that's no good. You get a terrible sweat rash.
Richard from Wales, I guess obviously you watched the whole launch. What did you make of it, my friend?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to agree with Richard Inman, first of all. I thought it was, a slight disappointment, but I will say this. I like the understated nature of it as well. It wasn't too polished, and that's not what I don't think people aren't looking for polished anymore. We've seen the polished look. Yep. We've got that over at Reform. Okay, it's very polished, but there's no substance. Whereas what we saw today, I thought was far more. It just. The sheer fact that Ben Habib was talking about getting the party structure right at the right from the off, I thought that was fantastic, and very important. So I like that. There's a few technical issues, there's a few bits and pieces, but you could see it was a coming together. It was something that was unfinished, and I liked that because it's something that everyone's going to be building together. It feels like a natural extension, really, of the Unite the Kingdom movement, and I like that. I really like that.
I think the other thing as well is that, look, whether people understand this or whether they don't, they soon probably going to have to, is that running a party like this and launching a party like this is bloody expensive. Now, I don't see any value in throwing 50 grand at a launch do. I really don't.
No.
Because what you're doing is you're spending the public's money. You are, that is a lot of people's memberships money that you're spending on a fancy launch. I don't think it was necessary. I do agree. I think that, technically, it could have gone a little bit better, especially towards the beginning. But look, listen, it's easy said because we're not there doing it. I know what technical stuff can be like. And on the whole, I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I thought Ben's speech was great. I thought the young girl, Kendall Harper-Ray's, I thought she was great. Howard, they were all good. Richard was great. Jim was good. I mean, look, these people are representing us, the people. And that is what's important to me. Let's have a little look at the Labour Party conference when it kicks off. And have a look how polished that is. But listen to their message and look at the lies and listen to the bile that's being spoken. I know which I would prefer personally. Who's any particular part of the speech stood out for you, Danny?
One little bit of the speech stood out, I think, for everyone, didn't it? Bonk for Britain. Didn't that stand out? It did to me. It was brilliant.
Well, I think, it certainly did. It certainly did.
I'll tell you what the funny thing is,
the whole speech was brilliant.
Apart from me and Sarah, everyone else was late on the show today. And you're never usually late. So was you bonking for Britain? Is that what it was?
I was taking his advice,
Trying.
No, I wish I could. I feel absolutely shattered, mate. I was out late last night. Too many beers.
Oh dear, oh dear. So, what about you, Richard? Anything in particular, Richard Inman? Any particular part of the event?
I loved his answer to Liam's question. When Liam said,
I couldn't really hear Liam's question. And what was it?
Basically, Liam said,
I've lost you, Richard. You've gone all silent.
That was a joke. Oh. You said you couldn't hear.
I was wondering. That's all I heard, though, Rich, when I see Liam's message.
No, Liam basically asked, "What about why do you identify with the British working class so well?" Or so. That's the gist of it. You see, you get the answer to the question. You get the question by the answer to the question in those sort of situations. That was one thing that I must admit. That was one of the things that did bug me. That they should have had really good mics going around the room. It's not like But the thing is with live stuff never goes to plan anyway. We all know that. But no, I thought the way he answered that question of Liam's was absolutely fantastic. Because to me, knowing Ben, right, the way that we know him, he is a genuine man of the people. I mean, I was texting him this morning, good luck for today. he got back to me and with a nice message. Now he must get thousands of messages off people every single day. And to me, it's a bit like the thing with Ant Middleton. When I met Ant Middleton, started chatting about Middleton, it was obvious that he was interested in what we were saying. He wasn't, he had that level of emotional intelligence to engage with people. And I think to win the British public over now, politicians are going to need that. They're going to need to be able to talk to people and people realize that they genuinely have their best interests at heart, because anything less than that is just, and this is why I have a problem with Farage and Reform. I don't believe they have that. Whereas I think Ben genuinely cares about Britain, about the British people, and about what happens next in the country. He could just, I said this to Ben when I was chatting to him, when I interviewed him. I says, you could just go and drink a G&Ts on a in the Bahamas and forget about this country. And he said he can't, his conscience won't let him do that. And that came across in the answer to that question. So to me, all the other stuff about
just remind me again, Richard, what was Liam's question? Because I didn't actually hear it.
Well, the gist of it was, this is how Ben answered it. The gist of it was, why are you bothered with the British working class? Why are you bothered with the likes of us, with that lot? That was the gist of the question. And Ben then went on into the monologue that you were talking about, where he was talking about Tom Eason, he was talking about, the people that built Britain, the backbone of Britain and all that sort of thing. So to me, that showed who Ben was and why he's doing what he's doing, and the fact that he actually genuinely cares. And that, to me, that was the highlight of the thing. Of the whole thing. It was a highlight of the whole thing for me.
Brown Tissue says, I couldn't see how it came across as a launch. Fair comment, I suppose.
I think it is fair. But the problem is what they were up against in terms of, they should have been in the Crown Plaza. Everything would have been set up. They'd have had all the graphics and everything done for the Crown Plaza. Yeah. You can't just at 2 minutes' notice redesign everything for a completely different venue. So that's why it was like it was. But like I say, my takeaway from that is you put yourself in a place where you're uncancelable. That's what caused the problem. The problem was that they'd been cancelled because of intimidation. And let's get it right. What Ben said was absolutely right. It is an absolute. It should be a criminal offence to interfere with political meetings and people's freedom of speech. And this isn't, by the way, this isn't me coming down as an authoritarian. The people that closed this down were authoritarian. They are the real fascists. That woman, McGuinness or whatever her name is, who I think Tommy wants to stand against at the next election, which would be great. I think that would be a fantastic result.
I was going to say, that's a great point. I want to talk about that in a minute. Yeah. Go on, Richard. Carry on.
Yeah, no, that was it, really, Paul. Just I think the way that this event was affected was as a direct result of interference by politicians who were calling Ben Habib, a man who is half Pakistani. What better mix to actually bring reconciliation in the country? Someone who's half Pakistani, half English, right?
Yeah.
And loves the country and is more passionate about the country than most.
Well, this is the irony. This is the irony now, isn't it? For all of the panel, anyone comes along and says, "Oh, you're a racist." Now, look, I want a man who's half Pakistani to be the Prime Minister.
Me too.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't make any sense. Can I ask the panel, going from the top? So I'll go with Sarah first. Sarah, do you ever see yourself maybe getting into politics and maybe even standing for Parliament? I mean, Ben has said today that he welcomes people that would potentially stand at whatever capacity that might be. Is it something that might interest you going down the line?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that I had already tried to become a local councillor. I'm a candidate at the moment. And so, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd love to see myself as an MP, and I believe that I've got that passion inside me, and, I've got that patriotism for this country that I would want to see it do well. I don't care about the money. It's literally wanting this country to be the best it can possibly be. So if I could get myself as maybe a position as health minister or something like that within Parliament, yeah, great.
Now, hold on a minute, Sarah. I'm going to pull you up for a minute. If you ever become PM or deputy PM, let's say you become deputy PM, are we going to find you buying a second home?
Third.
In Emerson Park somewhere, right? Sipping a large glass of shampoo? Are we going to catch you out?
To be honest with you, I'm more like the likes of Rupert Lowe, who would be giving my wage away to charity. And I would, of course, you get more, the more you earn, the better you do in life.
Yeah.
That's, so yes, would I buy another house? I love the house that I live in, but would I do more to help other people? 100%. That's me as a person. I care about other people.
And that, Sarah, is why you make a great politician. Richard, in Wales, do you ever see yourself getting involved politically, Richard? Maybe one day stepping up and getting involved?
Well, I mean, I'm far too corruptible, I think. No, no. I possibly. I haven't ruled it out completely. We'll say that. How and where, what capacity? I don't know if it's where I'm best served. I think I'm a better sort of background operator than out front, to be honest with you. But if the country's calling, that's a different matter. I don't know. If anyone could find a use for me, then maybe I'd consider it. I don't know. It's very difficult to say. Very difficult to say at this moment.
I'm sure there'd be a use for you, Richard. I'm sure.
Yeah, for me.
If you look, we all know that Labour is awful. But let's not forget that Conservative put us in the position that we're in, that then everyone thought Labour was who they... I don't know anyone who voted Labour, but they obviously got voted in.
Yeah.
And Conservative are awful. And the problem is you have people in Parliament, they are all friends, they've all gone to the same schools, they've all had the same education, they're all friends, whether they're Labour, Conservative, no matter what. You need people from grassroots. You need people that really care about the people at the bottom. You can't have people at the top making rules and policies for people at the bottom, and they don't even know how the bottom engage and get on in life.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove a point to someone here, but before I do, Richard, personally, I would love to see you getting involved because I think you are precisely the type of person what we need. Precisely. I'm going to prove someone wrong. Snowy Owl says Reform UK. Now, Snowy, I am on the College of Reform. I'm on the College of Advance, right? Slip of the tongue there.
Is there something you should be telling us?
Slip of the tongue.
Listen, Reform don't have a college. It's just Zia and Mohammed and Nigel.
Snowy, look, I'm on the College of Advance UK. Richard is very closely involved. He speaks to Ben a lot, etc., etc. We welcome your comment and your view, but I tell you what, try it. See if you get the same reaction from your friends over at Reform UK. You won't get that.
Well,
you'll probably get chucked out.
Paul, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. If you texted, like I said earlier, if you text Ben Habib now, you'd get a response from him in minutes, right? And 3 or 4 hours at the most, right? You try getting in touch with His Royal Highness, Nigel.
Oh,
Farage.
I have done, mate.
Exactly.
I've got Nigel's phone number. I've messaged him about half a dozen times, but he never replies. So I give up. I don't want to.
You don't want to restrain him on the show.
I don't want to restrain you all.
You don't want another tag on your ankle, Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Danny, would you ever consider coming back from Spain and getting involved? I mean, the first thing is to get you back from the sun, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, that won't happen, mate.
Can't see that happening.
I'm not gonna leave Spain now. I don't mind sort of sweeping up and stuff like that. I'm happy, but I can't get involved directly from being in Spain. So
I was going to say, Danny, to be honest, we probably are only looking at something like T-boy position and something like that, cleaner.
And I'd still have to apply for that. And I'm all right at that because I own a couple of restaurants, don't I?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Right. Bangers and mash, mate. Yeah, you'd be all right.
That's it. It could be the new Advance UK.
I'll tell you what, that's what I'll do. When Ben gets into Parliament and stuff, I'll open a cafe in Parliament. How about that?
Now that I like the sound of. That could be a winner. Richard, I mean, this is a wasted question. This is, Richard, would you ever get involved? Would Richard ever get involved in anything? Richard, could you ever see yourself being tempted to stand as an MP?
No, I'm just a prophet. I'm just an Old Testament prophet shouting from the sidelines, just shouting at everyone and annoying everybody. That's my job's just to be a pain in the arse.
No, seriously, would if Ben asked you, would you stand?
If he asked me, I'd give it consideration. I genuinely haven't thought about it because there's it's like our lives are so chaotic and there's that much going on all the time that I haven't I genuinely haven't thought about it. But if someone asks me to do something, I'll go away and think about it. But I'm not going to impose myself on anyone. But I mean, if someone wants me to do something, I'll do it. Well, not do it, but I'll think about it. But I was thinking about Danny. I mean, Danny could be the British ambassador to Mercia, possibly, or even Benidorm. We could get him a little ambassador.
Not Benidorm. Yeah, no, I'll be the ambassador for Benidorm. That actually's got quite a ring to it, hasn't it? But ambassador for Benny. I'll get out on a Friday night and make sure all the Brits are behaving themselves.
Get those big cigars out, Paul, and the champagne and the Frere Rocher. I think you could do the job. No, you'd be better than Mandelson, put it that way, wouldn't you?
Well, it could be worse, could it? Right, guys. We'll go around the houses here. Tommy hinted at potentially that he may be interested in standing against. What was her name again?
Kim McGuinness.
No relation to Martin, I suppose.
Well, who knows? With the way she's behaving, quite possibly.
Tommy potentially running through his mind, standing for Parliament. Richard, could you see that happening? I mean, there's one very, very obvious problem with Tommy ever doing that, and we'll come to that in a bit. But what do you think, Richard? Can you ever see that happening?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think...
No, the other Richard.
Oh.
Richard in Wales.
Yes, I think it's... I think it'd be incredible. I really do. I think... Let's go to the prediction. Well, a few people have predicted it, that the sort of person who would actually be a very good... Well, I mean, if hypothetically, if Ben ever stood down, for instance, not that we want him to, because he's a brilliant leader, but to have something like a second, at very least, someone of the ilk of Tommy Robinson to unite a country. He's already proven that he could unite a country, all right? Because I mean, the amount of people let's be honest here. There was at least 2 to 3 million people who turned up in London, right? Mm. And what about all the people supporting around the rest of the country who, there must be about 100 for each, not 100, but, a good 10 for everybody who didn't turn up, who were right behind what was taking place on September the 13th, just gone. And you think, yes, that man can unify people and bring people together. Now, he doesn't necessarily have to be party leader, but... he's the sort of person who could help unify people within the party, like Rupert Lowe did briefly with Reform. He dragged so many people over to Reform, as did Ben Habib. Yeah. Now, if you've got personalities like that with the capability of bringing people forward, I think that's fantastic. I really do. I think that's amazing. So, yeah, I think for that alone, there are so many other reasons, but I'm sure everybody else here would like to, step in and say why it would be a great thing.
Yeah. Brown Tissue, I'm concerned about the campaign strategy, Ben 10. I mean, look, there's so much to play out. We've got to give them a chance. We've got to give them time. There's so much to organise. I mean, look, it's a big task ahead of us. There is no doubt about that. But going back to the Tommy question, Sarah, do you think that would be a good thing for him? Do you think he'll do it?
I'd love to see Tommy in power, because I think... and this is what I went back to earlier, that anyone who really cares about this country, they're the people that need to be in power, not someone who's concerned about lining their pocket. And it just shows that Tommy puts his neck on the line every single time he does something. So he would deserve a place, and I think he would be welcomed 100%.
You're on mute, Paul.
That's it. Right, as we got 2 Richards in the chat, and I think we'll have to now. So I'll call Richard from Wales and Dick. How's that? Is that?
No, that doesn't work at all. That doesn't work at all. Just call me the Lionheart.
The Lionheart. So we'll ask Richard the Lionheart. Richard, what do you think the chances of Tommy standing against McGuinness are?
I think it'd be great. I think he should do it. I think Advance should put him up there as the candidate at Newcastle. It would throw them all into an absolute frenzy. They'd be panicking. I mean, honestly, the media, the Labour Party up in the North East, because you got to remember there's a massive amount of support for Tommy in the North East. Yeah. And if you get the right, I don't know if that's going to be the right constituency. What you need to do is you need to pick the right constituencies. You need to have your sort of rock stars and get them in really big constituencies where there's a chance of winning. There's no point in putting them somewhere where they can't win, and that's what you've got to look at. Now, the problem that everybody's got is that the polling means nothing, because the Labour Party, I mean, my goodness, I mean, you know, Stasi Starmer yesterday and his ID card, thinking that suggesting ID cards would be a really good idea. You know, an election winner at the next election, everybody's going to be monitored and surveilled more than they ever were before. Starmer has managed to do even more than Tommy did, because he's united Jeremy Corbyn with Rupert Lowe, Nigel Farage, and Ben Habib. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. So you've got to find Tommy a good place to stand, because you want him to have a chance of winning. But I think the way the Labour Party are going to melt down, and probably the Tory Party, I think if you stood, you know, if you stood a Kentucky Fried Chicken bargain bucket there, you'd probably win it. You know what I mean?
Danny, what do you think?
Wouldn't it put a few noses out of joint? Wouldn't that just put a few
Probably
noses out of joint? Actually, quite, yeah. But do I think he will? No, I don't. Do I think he should? Yeah, probably. But I don't think he will. He always reminds everyone he's a journalist, not a politician.
Yeah.
He stands quite
good
strong
point.
for that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Danny.
Can I come back? I think he will, and I'll tell you why I think, because he's done it before. He stood in the European Parliament.
He did.
He got 40,000 votes when
Oh,
when that campaign happened in I think it was 2018 or 19. He got 40,000 votes. The police tried to close him down everywhere he went. The police marched the Muslim Defence League up to one of his election rallies, and we all got cancelled off every single social media platform. And yet still he got 40,000 votes. So, you know, I think with the right party behind him, the right campaigning, he could absolutely win a seat at Westminster.
There's
the right area.
Yeah, right area.
Yeah. I mean, look, the people of Newcastle are brilliant people, and I mean, if Tommy was to play his cards right up there, and you know, put on a Newcastle shirt and walk around the city centre, you know, I'm sure he'd do very well. The only problem that you would have is the authorities. You'd have all the main parties. What they'd probably do is whoever was the strongest candidate, the rest of the parties would probably stand down.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that Tommy didn't get in.
Yeah.
That's how vile they are. They would even, you know, they clutch their pearls and they bite their lip.
Because they're all friends.
Because
no matter what party they're on, they're all friends. They're all tied from the same brush, which is hence the reason they're jumping parties to still be in politics. Because if you really believe in what you stand for, you don't jump parties. You stay where you are.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Richard in Wales, I'm going to ban you, Richard, because your mic is far too good. Anyone that comes on with a better mic than me is banned.
Yeah, well, you know, I used to be a sound engineer and all that, and I suppose it's.
Well,
this is the cheap one. This is.
What I want to know is, Richard, we've got the same goddamn mic, I think, and why does yours sound so much better than me? I've got the Shure.
What mic?
Oh, it's his voice, Paul.
SM7B.
Same as me, yeah.
Yeah. It could be your audio interface. It could be that. There's after this, if you want, I can go through some settings with you on audio, and we can have a look at that. Yeah. No worries. I
like the sound of my own voice. Not really. Gene Lee, Danny, the treasurer. Oh, I don't know about that. He'd be out buying another McLaren.
No, I wouldn't. Not after that one. No, I wouldn't.
What's this? I saw a comment there about Richard the Rottweiler. I like the sound of that. Yeah.
Which Richard though?
Yeah.
No, but there's only one Richard the Rottweiler. Jim, Paul, if you're on the college, why were you not there today? The answer to that one is, Jim, is that right now, if I go home, I'm pretty sure that I'll probably be spending the next 48 hours in a little dark room with some very unfriendly men who will then decide whether they're going to let me come out again or not.
Yeah, okay, that's what happens when you get to Soho. What happens at the airport?
Richard, I've told you not to give my secrets away on this channel, haven't I?
Sorry, mate, I'm sorry.
I've told you before about that.
Well, there's something lined up here, gents, by the way. It just came up on my Twitter feed. It looks like George Galloway and his wife have been detained at the airport. Just breaking now, I think. So, yeah.
Wow.
I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not, but that's it's just come up on the Workers' Party of Britain or something, some urgent thing. I don't know how true that is. A few people are retweeting it, Xing it, reposting it, but yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's probably for an offence against hats.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, while we're on the comical side of things, let's read this one out. I do love a bit of a funny one. Mr. the Great, Tommy Robinson is a Mossad agent. Yeah, and I'm James Bond. That lot is not welcome in reform. Very, very true. PJS, Paul James Smith. Sorry, people, love him or loathe him, Farage and Reform are the only ones. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. Wait and see, because they are hemorrhaging support and members by the day, whilst Advance are doing completely the opposite. And with all due respect, it's people like yourself that need to be big enough and brave enough to take the step. It's only a tenner. Join, sign up. What's to lose? If you're not prepared to gamble a tenner on your country, then you can't love it very much.
And also, let's take into account, if there was an election tomorrow, yes, Reform would probably win. However, we've got until 2029 at the moment, and we know that a lot can change in that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The polls are showing it. I mean, I don't know if you. I'm not talking about the official polls. Well, no, I'm talking about the. If you see in sometimes on people's X pages, I got the blue pen out by the way. So yeah, on people's X pages, sometimes what they do is they put these little polls out. You've done it on yourself, Paul, on Community on YouTube, and asking people, and it's not just going to like disaffected Reform voters. This is going just right across the board. I've seen quite a few of them now, and it's like, Reform's in the lead. Usually it's like, who do you vote for? 60-something%.
Yeah.
But you got Advance on 30 or 40-something sometimes, just behind. And I'm thinking, hang on a second, the word is really getting out there. You wouldn't know it by looking at the mainstream media. Yep. But when you see these little sort of impromptu polls, I'm thinking, wow, that's a hell of a step up. That is. Considering how long has it been going? The party, a few months now. In fact, only today, really, officially.
Official launch today.
Yeah.
Paul, allegedly now it's 30 quid to join, but somebody else has said it's 20 quid.
Okay, well, I'm not sure. I haven't had a look, to be fair. But Inverted Pentagram says, Paul, do you think the right and the left should group together and fight the real enemy, the government, or am I being too hopeful as both sides seem to despise each other? Look, I think there is... like Ben says, I think we got to put this left and right to one side to a degree. It's now about good versus evil. And it really depends on whose side you're on. I mean, we know what's right and what's wrong. And we know there are people out there that, frankly, just want some very evil things to happen. And I don't think you're ever going to change their minds. That's the way they are. This woke mind virus, I think, is true. It's £10 still.
Yeah, there's people saying it's 20 and people saying it's 30 in the chat.
Well,
it's still £10.
There you go.
Yeah, it's due to go up anytime soon, as far as I know.
So get in now.
So get in quick while it's still a tenner, because it should have gone up as soon as they hit 30,000. So he's obviously kept that low. So I mean, and it will go up to 30 quid unless you're a veteran. Then it's 15 quid.
John says he will be a real working class candidate we never had. Elizabeth says, oh dear Sarah, the silence after you talked about Tommy. I think she was saying that I'm not quite sure what she meant, to be fair. Hi Mike, how you doing? Annie Route 66, Tommy has shown he is for the people. Couple of supers there. Martin, thank you very much, mine. This may be off topic, but this is an important family. Law courts are so broken. So many good, loving parents, men and women, take their lives. Something needs to change. Men don't have the rights. I know this, as I've been subjected to this. Martin, it's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very,
totally
very
agree.
good point, Martin. Yes, I mean, I don't want to talk about my own experiences, not my own personal experiences, but, you know, someone within my family's experience of that. And it certainly needs to be looked at. And it's a long, long way from perfect, that's for sure. Dennis, thank you, Dennis, for becoming a member. Brown Tissue again. There will be a general election way before 2029. I think he's probably right, gang, don't you? I think he's probably right.
Starmer will be gone by Christmas.
Oh, God, yeah.
Definitely.
But
Absolutely.
who's he going to be replaced with? There's your problem.
That's the thing.
Well, it doesn't make any difference. Whoever he gets, the policies are going to be the same or maybe worse, you know, so it doesn't actually make any difference. I mean, I think in a way we almost need to swallow the medicine until 2029, hope the country survives, and then none of them will make a comeback. You know, look at the Tory party. They've said nothing on the digital ID thing. You know, I mean, I'll
tell you my big fear with Labour. I'll tell you my big fear and my big fear for the British public, because you know how fickle they are. As long as things are okay with them, the British public are not politically awake right now. I think Andy Burnham is a real problem. If Andy Burnham becomes the leader of the Labour Party and the next Prime Minister, I think because of his soft nature, because of his mask, if you like, because of the way he speaks, etc., I think a lot of Middle England people will look at him and go, oh, well, it's a lot better than Starmer, that'll do for me. And then they'll become all disinterested again. Maybe we've gone past that point. I don't know.
I think we're past it, Paul.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope we are.
Yeah.
I think, you know, so many people are talking to me. That march has absolutely rattled the establishment completely to the core.
It has, definitely. But I know it sounds contradictory, but I'm quite happy personally, and people in the chat are probably going to go, what is he talking about? But hear me out. I'm quite happy for Starmer to stay there and finish off the job.
Yeah.
Because because at the end of the day, Sarah, right? At the end of the day, guys, if we get someone in like Andy Burnham who's capable of maybe, you know, how can I put it? Calming the
slight
nation
improvement.
down. A slight improvement, you know, a friendly face, a more likable voice. I mean, even Starmer's voice is enough to want to make you for someone else, make you vote for someone else. So I don't think a change of leadership will necessarily do our cause any good. The worse they are, the better for me, so that ultimately they're gone for good, not just for the next 2 terms, I mean forever.
Yeah, wiped out completely, basically.
I've been saying this for a while, totally.
That's what you want, because everything they've done until now is just pushing everyone to want to vote away from Labour or Conservative or anything like that, because their policies have been so bad. They've affected the rich, the poor, the young, the old, the upper class, the lower class. They've affected everyone. So now no one wants them in power at all. I don't know anyone that would want them in power. And
I think the Conservatives are doing even worse. If you look at that polling the other day, I think the Conservatives are going to be down to, I think it was something ridiculous, like 8 seats or 16 seats, and the Labour Party were going to be down at 72 seats or something along those lines. Reform were going to storm it on the polling the other day, and then I think the Liberals were going to do a bit, the Greens were going to get a bit, but I mean it's just going to totally destroy the 2-party system, and both those parties need to be completely and utterly destroyed politically. They need to be gone, you know, and so do the Lib Dems, for that matter, you know.
This is being confirmed, by the way, guys. What do we make of George Galloway being detained under the Terrorism Act, Richard?
Paul,
I got it right in front of me.
I had it on the day I came in for the march. You know, they pulled me in, and I think if I'd have been on an international flight, they'd have held me. I think, and I'll find out when I come over next time, but I think they can only hold you if you're coming on an international flight. I think they can hold you at ports, and if you're on an international flight. Because I basically told them, they said, we want to talk to you. And I said, well, I don't want to talk to you. And that was basically the end of the conversation. So if they'd had grounds to arrest me or hold me, I'm sure they'd have done it. So
I didn't get no choice, Rich, when it happened.
No, exactly.
What do you think, though? I mean, let's just you know,
I can
George
tell you what
Galloway.
he's going through. So they're going to take his phones off him straight away. They'll demand the pins. If he doesn't give them, he'll get charged straight away. They'll take him away. They'll search him. They'll take his luggage. He will not have the right to remain silent. He will be fingerprinted. He'll be swabbed. He will be photographed, and he'll be interrogated for up to 6 hours. And then they'll decide whether they're going to charge him or not. That's the up and all of it under Schedule 7 of the Counter-Terrorism Act.
It's absolutely.
What I want to talk about, though, what I want to talk about is that George Galloway, obviously a political opponent of ours, you know, completely polarised in opposite views. But what do we make of him off, you know, without knowing the I mean, look, if something was to come out, that's a different story. But in general, what do we make of George Galloway being detained?
George Galloway is a Democrat. I don't like George Galloway at all. He supported Sinn Féin. He supported the Republican movement. I don't like him at all. However, he is a Democrat. He stood for Brexit, and actually he's a patriot as well. He actually genuinely believes in the United Kingdom. Now, I don't like him because he's a communist. He's far left, but he's obviously in it up to his neck with the Islamists. But do I think for a minute that he has done anything to warrant that his collar getting felt under the Terrorism Act? No. And this is exactly what happened to Danny. Exactly what they tried to do with me. Exactly what they did to Tommy. It's using terrorist legislation against innocent people. And it's not just that. Here's the thing, right? If next time I land in GB, I get grabbed for terrorism, or next time you land, Paul, you get grabbed for terrorism, doesn't matter that you're completely innocent, because that stain stays with you for the rest of your life. So, you know, I'm going to apply for a firearms license soon. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens when I apply for my firearms license, to see if they actually
Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, but hold on a minute, Paul. Hold on a minute. Let's talk seriously about this, right? Why shouldn't I be able to get a firearms license?
Oh no, I couldn't agree more. But they took mine away.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying, Paul. And people are just letting themselves be trodden underfoot. So, you know, I've never been convicted of a criminal offence in court. I'm a weapons instructor, so why shouldn't I get a firearms license? That's purely because of my political beliefs. So I'm going to apply for one just to prove a point.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't give me one, I'll be wanting. You know, I'll take it the whole flip way. Same with the terrorism legislation, Danny. Honestly, we need to find a way of getting a judicial review on why they're arresting people who are obviously not terrorists or holding people under terrorism legislation. It's a complete abuse of powers, and you know, and this scumbag that's running the country used to be a human rights lawyer. You know,
why is Starmer not being held under the Terrorist Act?
Well, exactly.
Well, he's the only one that's been out on communist holiday camps.
Yeah.
Phil says it all seems to be middle-aged men. We'll wait till Sarah comes back from holiday next time. She might join the club.
I'm going to fly out to America soon, and I'm wondering what's going to happen when I come back.
Coming back from
I'll tell you what.
This is why I don't even leave Wales. I won't even leave Wales these days. Good grief. I mean, I've just got it in front of me. It's in the Telegraph. George Galloway and his wife were detained by the police. Detained under Counter-Terrorism and Border Security Act at Gatwick. They've been released apparently. But it did say here former MPs party complains of former MPs party complains of politically motivated intimidation after it. So this looks like a sort of a tool that the state is using right now to put fear into people and shut them up. Yeah. And it's disgusting. It is. It's absolutely disgusting, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it really is awful. I find it quite distasteful. You know, you guys have had it. You know, I think it's just really gets to me. Actually, I mean, I don't want to leave. I haven't been abroad in years, to be honest. Last time I went was to Southern Ireland. And I really don't want to go now. There's a few places my wife and I thinking, maybe we can go on save up and go on a cruise at some point, you know, the Norwegian Fords. I thought, I won't be seeing much of that, to be honest with you, if I go right now. I mean, you'll be on your own probably.
Yeah. I mean, look, I agree with what Richard said. I mean, George Galloway for me is a bit of a bittersweet sort of individual in the respect that I actually enjoy listening to George Galloway. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but I do like listening to him. I like to hear his point of view. I think he's a magnificent orator, whether you like him or whether you don't. He speaks so well. And he does have his plus points. They are not very many. They are quite few. But have I ever seen anything in him that warrants him being detained by the anti-terror mob? And the answer to that would be, not that I've seen, he's entitled to support whatever views he wants to support. That's democracy. I don't happen to agree with him. I was on his show. He was very rude to me, right? But it doesn't matter. The guy is a politician and is entitled to have his say. So again, I think it's a misuse it's intimidation. Simple as that.
It is.
Everything now, though, is an abuse of power, because like when you see when people are getting arrested, the police abuse their sections in which they can arrest you. And it's the same with, you put a tweet out, oh, you're going to get arrested, you're going to get put in prison. It is a total abuse of powers now, and democracy's gone out the window. So God help you if you've got a difference of opinion to what Starmer thinks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've got the perfect answer for John. John says, not sure whether to go reform or advance. Well, it's the way to go forward for anyone that is a member of reform or thinking that reform is the only way. Join advance. It's going to cost you a tenner. Next week, maybe 20 quid, whatever it is, right? 10, 20 quid. That is your gamble to try and save your country. If it doesn't come off, then you just revert back to voting for reform. But if everyone said, I'm going to pay that tenner, I'm going to gamble a £10 note that could save my country, that could get a party in power that genuinely stands for the people. I cannot understand how people would not gamble just a tenner on that bet. So, John, join advance, my friend. Join advance. You can always revert back if you had to.
And it's good for if you are a reform supporter. I keep saying this to people: if you're a reform supporter, or rather, you see that if there was an election in the next 2 to 3 years, or say 2 years, or in 12 months, the only option out there is reform. Then what I say is join advance, because advance is right on the heels of reform. And reform, I think, are panicking. They will be panicking right now. They can see what's happening. Yeah, and this is going to, and they're going to change their position probably slightly. I know that. Let's just say I don't believe Nigel Farage is the head of reform at all. Far from it. Okay, there's somebody else, and I can't think of his name. Oh, it seems to be skipping me. But pass me. But I tell you, no, guys. Honestly, if you want reform at its best, then you join advance. I know that sounds so weird, a thing to say, but it is putting the pressure on. And you got Farage now. He's starting to say a few things that I don't think he would have been saying if Advance UK hadn't come about.
100% agree. Richard, I wasn't laughing at you, my friend. I was laughing at Viking Do.
I can see it.
Galloway's a closet furry. He's obsessed with cats and stuff. What was that? It was with Rudalenska, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was classic.
What did he say?
What was classic, wasn't it?
Can you remember what?
He was doing licking.
He was doing a bit of role playing, pretending to be a cat.
Licking his paws and stuff, I think it was.
I'll tell you what. Hold on a minute, guys. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, we'll go one better than that, shall we?
Right.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the
was that
anti-terror.
Big Brother or something? Was that Big Brother?
Big Brother, yeah. Maybe he was. Maybe the anti.
No, hold. Just 1 minute, Paul. Right? Can I ask a question? Right?
Go on.
How did you find that clip so quickly?
He watches it every night.
You've got that saved in your favourites, mate.
I've got that on lockdown. No, mate. Listen, I've got to tell you, right? Listen, this is the thing. Actually, it's gone out of my head now. No, it's gone completely what I was going to say. But I mean, listen, seriously. Oh, that was it. Perhaps they were right to detain him under the Terrorism Act after watching that.
Oh man,
Sarah, have you seen that before?
Yeah. I remember it the first time round, and it was quite. I'm not that young, Paul. Like,
well, you're actually. Do you know what? You're a lot younger than Danny. You know that's the thing.
All right, calm down.
Danny's the next youngest one on the stream.
I am
how old are
actually
you, Danny?
older than you, substantially. I'm 50. I'm 54.
Oh, I'm 40. Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
That's-
You're older than me
You're a
there,
pup.
Danny.
Am I?
Yeah, I'm 52. Yep.
Oh, really? Go on,
Yeah,
Rich.
yeah.
Go on, Rich.
I had
57.
Yes. So I'm right in the middle.
yeah.
Then.
Paul?
I had a hard paper round.
I'm not saying no. I ain't saying nothing. I'm 21 again next year.
Yeah, well, you can't say that when the counter-terrorism get you, Paul. You can't say nothing to them.
When I'm 64.
Oh, mate. Yeah. Did you not see my birthday special? Me and Danny driving around Benidorm on one of those Magmobiles.
With Rula Lenska in the boot.
Oh dear! I'll tell you what more could people want? They come on here for a bit of serious politics. We cheer them up, and then we take the piss out of each other. What else could
That's
they
what it's
want?
all about, isn't it?
That's
That's
because
what it's
serious
about.
politics ruin the country. So
Exactly.
Do you know what? If we all became MPs, I think we'd have a right laugh.
oh,
Yeah. Should we have a practice? So are we ready? On the count of three, here. Right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Rhubarb.
That's it.
That's it. We're all qualified.
Sarah's going to be the speaker. She's going to take the job of the speaker here.
Yeah.
as long as we can all have pie and mash, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm really missing me pie and mash.
Danny's gone into a depression now.
I'll tell you what, that can see. That,
No, I'll bring it
seriously.
out for you, Danny.
Yeah, I
to have
need
order
a
of
Robin's pie and mash from Romford.
every
where we
other
went?
week.
Yeah, that's
my
where we all
aunt
went,
would
Rich.
fly out to Spain, and she used to have to fill her suitcase with pie and mash and put
Oh.
liquor into a big like Coke bottle and take it out for everyone. The best.
Robin's
You see,
pie
now
and mash.
we're going to tell. I'm going to tell our northern friends the difference between South and East Londoners. Now, you see, in East London, pie and mash is food. In South London, it's rhyming slang.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You're not going to say what it's for.
Oh dear.
We'll leave that one there.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there. P. Wright, Ben absolutely has integrity. So going back, before we wind up, we've been on for over an hour. People probably sick the sight of us just recently. So we'll start with Sarah. Overall, Sarah, what sort of is your takeaway from the launch today?
Do you know what? I just think that by doing the launch and showing the support that's there and being able to change location at such short notice, which was, that's criminal to be able to terminate a launch party, because why do that in the first place? It doesn't matter. What, did they not agree with him, or was it powers above that got it cancelled?
Yeah.
And I just think that it shows that this party's got substance, and I think it shows that Ben's it shows other people who don't know him that he is very patriotic, and he really has got a deep rooted care for this country. He really has. He is. You know him. You know him better than probably any of us, and he really does care about this country.
Yeah, I think it showed. I think it proves that he's got what it takes. Richard, your takeaway on it?
Yeah, I mean, Ben's the star of the show. I mean, he I mean, obviously he'd been delayed because there was something happened on his train, so he was late getting there. He was totally unfazed by it. He just did what he always does. Very relaxed, very understated. But I think there's a real steel to Ben that people don't really realise is there, because he comes across as so polite. But I think like it was in the comments, someone said about his integrity. He is as far as I can see, and again, we can always get it wrong. We always have, but not we always have, but we've got it wrong before. But he is a man of integrity, and that's very, very rare in politics. He didn't want to be leader. He didn't want to lead the party.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it. He was like, no, let Rupert do that. But he's standing up. He's doing what his calling is. So I think it's great.
Yeah. Martin says, thank you for your support about the family law stuff. Means the world. Maybe we talk to Ben about it, maybe, but thank you again. I just joined Advance. Let's go. Martin.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it, my friend. I mean it. I mean, I know what a lot of fathers go through. I know I've seen it firsthand. And yeah, I agree. And certainly that is something that as the party progresses, I would certainly be happy to talk to Ben about. Richard, your takeaway from this afternoon?
I think, to be honest, as I said, there's a few hiccups. Some things weren't as should have been, but then again, they couldn't have been because of the issue with changing venues. That was always going to change things. But they turned up. Ben turned up. Everyone was there. They said what needed to be said. And again, he emphasised the structural importance of the party, which I know to a lot of people. The thing is, we've gained these expectations of fireworks and music, and people have had enough of that, though. To be honest with you, what you had was real people there, and that just came across. I didn't feel. It didn't have like a wow factor, but it had a heart factor, and that was the important bit, and that was my takeaway from it.
Yeah.
Danny, your takeaway?
I was completely entertained for the couple of hours that I watched it, and complete common sense. There was no time, when I hear politicians talk, you always go, oh, not again, but it's complete common sense, and it does come from his heart. I've met him a few times through you, Paul, and lovely fella, and I'd love to see him in number 10. I'd love to. Can I just divert quickly, and this has only just come into my phone just for a second, with digital IDs, which is hot topic at the moment. Now, this has only just come in, so I haven't got this confirmed yet, but you couldn't make this up. The company Multiverse behind the digital this. The digital ID card app is Tony Blair's son, Ewan Blair. He's the CEO of Multiverse, which is the app behind the digital ID card. So I haven't confirmed that, obviously, but if you saw that as well, Sarah.
True. You're right,
there you go.
Danny.
Does that say something?
Son's got the contract for it.
There you go. How strange is that?
Yeah. Who knew?
Just got a message off Howard Cox saying it's been an amazing day. Lovely. Howard's such a good guy. I'll tell you my takeaway on today. And we spoke about, Lawties and razzmatazz and bits and bobs. And Danny, you're a boxing man, so I hope you get my analogy, and we'll end with this one, I think, tonight, is that what I saw today, I'm sick and tired of seeing our politicians enter the ring like... remember Nazim Hamed when he used to jump over the ropes, you've got the lights and the cameras and the bangs and the flares, and you've got all that, and when they get there, they get knocked out in the first round, right? Yeah. What we saw today from Ben Habib was a Mike Tyson type entrance. No fuss,
no frills,
no
dressing gown,
no driver. Get in there, bang, do the job. Do the job.
Do the business and leave. Yep, that's it.
And that's what I saw today. That, for me, was my takeaway. This is a man who isn't here to mess about. He's not here to waste your money on fireworks.
Yeah.
He's not here to waste his time.
Good analogy.
And I think, people like Liam Tufts. Now, I know Liam really, really well. Liam and I have been friends for a long time. And for Liam to travel up to Newcastle today is a big deal, because normally he wouldn't bother.
He actually travelled up yesterday because I'd done a podcast with him yesterday, and he had to get me in early because he went, I need to get off. So that podcast is out on Thursday, and it's just me and him, and it's going to be explosive.
Definitely worth watching. So don't miss that one. Liam with Sarah with Liam Tufts, Richard. I'm getting my tongue tied and all sorts of messages. But that was my takeaway today. I think he's a man that means business. We don't need any showboaters. We don't need anyone that is bringing us all the glitz and the glamour. We need a man of substance, a man that keeps his word, and a man that understands what the nation needs. And for me, that is Ben. Right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, especially at such late notice. Sarah was a very reliable partner tonight. I sent her a WhatsApp, bang, she's on. Richard,
Paul, a bit of notice.
You need to sort your
2 or 3
act out,
minutes
Paul.
would actually be quite nice.
We've got the same notice, okay? I turned up.
You was just sitting by your computer waiting like this.
That's it.
I'm like,
I'm ready.
Paul might message me.
Don't worry, Sarah.
I can't come out for a coffee.
The lust
Paul
will
might
wear
message.
off Paul Thorpe soon enough.
Yeah.
Right, guys, thank you all so much for coming on. Special guest tonight, Richard from Wales. Richard, by the way, keep up the brilliant work that you do with Jeff.
Yeah, will do, mate. Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks.
Cheers, lads.
Jeff is one of my faves. I've got so much respect for Jeff and yourself included. You know, you do a great show there. And I've got to tell you, mate, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not blowing smoke here, but every time I come up to bed and my missus is first, she's watching you and Jeff. I don't know what's going on there. I'll tell you, got to tell you, mate, it kills the mood. It puts me right off. I got to tell you.
Do you walk in the room and go, hello there?
Don't, because I'm going to be doing this. The next live stream I do. Hi, Paul.
You're going to be
hello,
thinking
Paul.
of that now.
Richard, say hello to Mrs. Thorpe. And I've got to tell you something else.
I will do, yeah.
Is that I walk up the stairs waiting to hear tones of Je t'aime, right? And all I can hear is Jeff and Richard.
There you go, mate. Honestly, there you go.
I'm telling you, it's not a good sign. I mean, honestly. Dear.
Good old
Okay, there you go. Right, guys, love you all
nice
to bits. Thank you so much for joining us. I've got a new little setup here tonight, and I haven't got my usual outro, so we're just going to have to end the stream, say goodbye, and we'll see you all soon. God bless everyone. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.